Management Department, especially Rachel LaGuersha, Carolyn Ressler, and Marina Nebro, and the talented humans across the street at 110. You have supported me in every way imaginable. I simply could not do this work without you. And a special thanks to our exceptional executive director, Marcia Caban, who had a vision for my role and has already taught me so much. And to our director of adult engagement, Shira Epstein, who encourages us all to be innovative, responsive, and effective. I would also like to thank our president, John May, and all of the officers, trustees, board members, and committee members whose dedication behind the scenes cannot be overestimated. I have to acknowledge the many teachers, mentors, guides, and rabbis who impacted my growth and journey, and the friends who have been with me on this unexpected ride, including my loved ones who came out to support me tonight, Marsha Coker, Lou Sandler, and Rabbis Deborah Sasowitz and Adam Sherry. Finally, I offer my gratitude to my Center for Exploring Judaism students. Being your teacher and guide has truly been one of the great gifts of my life. There is no forgetting the sorrow of this past week, but our story moves forward. We show up for Shabbat again. We bow to the east, recite the Shema and Kaddish, and the clergy of this synagogue insist we keep to the plan. A new rabbi. I couldn't be more humbled or more grateful. Thank you all for summoning this celebration despite all the heartbreak. May I always be guided by our tradition so that I might serve you well. Shabbat Shalom.
I was born with no dedicated preemie ward. I was brought home within days and tucked tight beneath a warming light. I slept soundly, barely cried. My early arrival anointed me as an extroverted Leo fire sign in the Hebrew month of Av, rather than the intended Rosh Hashanah Eve of Elul. An early memory of crouching behind my mom's skirt at a social gathering personified a mouse's squeak, not Leo lion's roar. The biblical quote, Kol Tzmama Tzaka, a still, small voice was heard from Malach Kings, adorned my homemade birth announcement. My parents intuited it would be fitting, and I was quiet, blessed with a rich inner life of creativity and imagination. While I loved my still small voice, my teen years brought a desire for what seemed of higher social currency, a magnetic outer voice. Scanning the self-help section at Grand Central Terminal Bookstore on the commute home from high school, a book caught my eye. The Confidence Quotient, 10 Steps to Conquer Self-Doubt. I gently and steadily coach myself to inhabit the voice of teacher, actor, and ultimately leader. Kol Tzmama Tzaka, still small voice, describes God, dramatic, bold authority figure, commanding the people, saying, observe all of the commandments that I command you this day. A litany of directives and consequences for breaching them. Pay attention and listen, O Israel. Kitavo reads as an ancient playbook in performative leadership. Carry a big stick. The buck stops here. What we would associate with confidence. One might assume Moshe always possessed this verbal agility, but a rewind to Moshe encountering God at the burning bush presents otherwise. A scared, cowering man proffering a laundry list of excuses for opting out. Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? What will I say to them? They will not believe me. They will not listen to my voice. Finally pleading, I am not a man of words. Burning bush Moshe almost missed his call to leadership, mired in self-doubt, what we today term as future forecasting, anticipatory anxiety, a cascade of what ifs as to whether his voice could be heard. In his book, Be Still and Get Going, Rabbi Alan Lew of blessed memory suggests that Moshe's what ifs were a harmful stillness, a paralysis holding him back from his potential. How many of us miss our own inner callings, held back by what ifs, manufactured fears of our own making? Hebrew has many different words for fear with nuanced meanings and balances. Rabbi Lew posits that Moshe was steeped in pachad, the afraid of tightened throat, conjuring worst-case scenarios. In contrast, seasoned leader Moshe is infused with norah, a word for fear that Rabbi Lew names as, quote, overcoming us when we suddenly find ourselves in possession of considerably more energy than we are used to. We might experience norah at a wedding or birth, in nature, in a synagogue sanctuary. What Moshe experienced in receiving the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. The shiver of norah signals that we are at a precipice of something wonderfully expansive, and it's time to take the leap. Our extroverted culture leads us to incorrectly conclude that our outer voice has elevated value. Stillness can be a potent tool for self-actualization, to becoming the best version of ourselves. Differentiation between pachad and norah helps us to reframe still small voice as an extremely powerful and transformative quiet that supports us in moving through the what ifs, clouding internal clarity. This frame of pachad and norah stretches the span of mighty and effective voice far beyond leadership, TikTok influencers, social butterflies. It is what Coach Tara Moore names as playing big, the clarity and acting upon inner knowing, stepping into the unique calling that each of us has, right-sized, individualized, and tailored for us. We are in Elul, leading up to the high holidays, termed as Yamim Noraim, days of awe, with Norah, expansive awesomeness, Baked into the season, we are invited to embrace still small voice as a precious toolkit for introspection, rituals and practices supporting relational repair. Last week, over 250 central congregants showed up for one another in person and online in Elul circles, a methodology designed for active listening. Participants relayed the deep, transformative impact of simply sitting still, witnessing and hearing others' intense emotions in approaching the high holidays, naming their pacha and their aspirations for transformation in their relationships. The anticipated pachad of rejection, to say I'm sorry, the imagined pachad of shaming or embarrassment, to send a condolence card even if months late. The constricting pachad of loss for words.
Vector rocks this cliff beyond a broken circuit. Complete the circuit by rotating the wire segments. Shoot the crystals to rotate the segments.
Our Jewish practices for high holiday preparation remind us that no matter how loud we are in our daily lives, our quiet, still, clear inner voice is right there waiting to propel us forward.
I've got an emergency stash nearby. It's yours if you can track it down. Your traverser can lead the way.
Version of ourselves that is filled with vibrancy and energy in Elul and beyond. In this rarely sleepy city, I treasure early morning weekend walks. In the calm, I gain clarity. Where will each of us take up the charge of still small voice this Elul season? What practices will support us in being heart-led? As we lean into the quiet, we can trust that we will hear the messages that we need to hear, becoming the compass leading us to deeper connection and relationship. Shabbat Shalom. That we will act. Where will each of us take up the charge of still small voice this Elul season? What practices will support us in being heart-led as we lean? Into the quiet, we can trust that we will hear the messages that we need to hear, becoming the compass leading us to deeper connection and relationship. Shabbat. Us to deeper connection and relationship.
Caravan's a big old beast, but you know what they say. Bigger they are, harder they fall. There's a caravan not far from you. Take the beast down for one heck of a payday.
Shabbat Shalom.
We are gifted tonight to have one of the most important, impactful leaders in the Jewish world on our bima. Rabbi Gilad Kariv is not a stranger to Central Synagogue. He has been here before. He is a dear friend of our clergy, our community, our movement. This is the first time that Rabbi Kariv is going to be on our bima since he had become elected to the Knesset. He is the first Reform rabbi ever to be in the Israeli Knesset. He is a Reform Jew from an early age, grew up, became a lawyer as well as a rabbi, and went on to lead our movement, first leading the Israeli Religious Action Center and then leading the entire Israeli movement for progressive Judaism. And in his time, the Reform movement really grew and took hold in so many ways. I remember when he said he was going to run for Knesset. It didn't work the first time, but he kept at it. And there was the question, what is a rabbi doing in politics? Well, when you have a country that does not separate church and state, in some ways, the ways that you can most effectively advocate for our Jewish values, the Jewish values that he stands for with us, of democracy and egalitarianism and pluralism and dignity of every person. Well, in many ways, the best way that you can make an impact in Israel is through the government, and that is exactly what he has done. When he first came in under the Labor Party, being a legal and I can't remember the official title of it, Gilad, I forget, but everyone was afraid of him because he had a lot of power with legal rules and all of that, but given his training as a lawyer. He has been incredibly effective in the Knesset, advocating for our values, and he is a person who is able to make bridges and relationships with people from many different parties and across the aisle. So I can't imagine a better representative of what Reform is in all of Israel, but also for all of us in the world. And we are deeply grateful to have you with us tonight, Rabbi Kariv.
Thank you for the kind invitation to address you from this holy bima. Thank you, Rabbi Buchdel, for your generous introduction. Almost 4 years ago, upon the beginning of my service in the Israeli Knesset, I was privileged to stand here. Sadly, so much has changed. Honestly, it wasn't an easy decision to take this short visit to New York. Over the last 11 months, the length of the news cycle in Israel is measured by hours, if not minutes. Yet, the importance of strengthening the relations between our communities and the open and sincere dialogue between Israelis and Jews around the world is clearer now than ever. As I shared with many colleagues who have come to Israel to express their solidarity, I strongly believe that many Israelis understand today, in a deeper way than ever, the impact of the Israeli reality on the well-being of Jewish life outside Israel. This growing understanding should become a fundamental element in our dialogue and mutual relations. This week's Torah portion, Ki Tetzeh, concludes with the known mitzvah of remembering the evil deeds of Amalek. Remember what Amalek did to you on your journey after you left Egypt. How, undeterred by fear of God, he surprised you on the march when you were famished and weary, and cut down all the stragglers in your rear. 11 months after October 7th, and 2 weeks after the brutal murder of 6 hostages, there is no need to explain why Israelis and lovers of Israel as a modern-day Amalek. The failure of others to see this is a deep moral illness. Yet, a careful reading of the text reminds us that Amalek's success was also rooted in the fact that the Israelites left the stragglers alone at the back of the line. Our Torah and our sacred tradition told us to remember we need to stand against evil and to fight it with no fear, but also to do it in a way that does not leave our brothers and sisters. This ancient tradition must bring the leaders of Israel to place the release of the hostages as our most urgent and important task. And we recognize the fact that the way to do it is made through an agreement on the ceasefire. It is important to remember that this understanding is not easy to embrace. The need to defeat Hamas is real and relevant today, not less than it was immediately after October 7th. It is a daily duty if we want to rebuild the destroyed communities in the South. It is also valid if we believe that in the long run, there is no other alternative than crippling thoughtfully renew a political dialogue with the more moderate Palestinian leadership. Any long-term achievement of Hamas works directly against this need. Yet, the urgent need to bring back the hostages should lead us to take the bold decision to do our best and to take calculated risks to reach a second deal. This is the demand of families of the hostages. This is the demand of their communities. This is the expectation of hundreds of thousands of Israelis who will fill the streets tomorrow evening again. And according to all polls, this is what the majority of Israelis expect our leaders to do. Together with the sacred duty of bringing home our suffering brothers and sisters, addressing the commandment to remember Amalek's evil deeds and abolish its methods, we are called to re-establish another important duty. Many Hasidic commentaries suggest that this mitzvah calls us also to protect our individual and collective souls from any signs of Amalek's behavior, to set a clear boundary between our code of thinking and conduct and its evil ways. The need to reach an agreement and a ceasefire is rooted first and foremost to bring back our hostages, but it also connected to our duty not to ignore the humanitarian situation in Gaza and not to ignore the number of
Oh, baby, I've been itching
and
for
level
about...
of destruction. Our grief and rage are more than legitimate. The fear of allowing Hamas and its allies to gain any sense of achievement is well founded. We cannot and we should not ignore those feelings. Allow those feelings to take from us our sensitivity to human life and suffering. It's a moral, sacred duty, but not less, it is also a fundamental element of our resilience as a nation, our inner strength, and our ability to keep our rightful place among the free, advanced, and democratic nations of the world. It is not a surprise that those who oppose Israel's right to defend itself and even to exist deny the role this moral sensitivity played in the history of Israel and Zionism. That those Israeli political and religious forces who oppose the democratic values and character of our state identify this sensitivity and moral standard as naive and anti-patriotic. those exact forces read the ancient commandment to abolish the memory of Amalek in a way that threatens to blur the fundamental difference between us
Great job.
and those who seek to destroy us. There will be no bigger victory for those who slander Zionism than allowing those political forces in Israel to shape the face of our country. In the same way, we must prepare ourselves for the day after regarding the reality in Gaza and in the West Bank and in the entire region. We must also prepare ourselves for the continuation of the efforts to harm the democratic values of our state. We are called to keep in mind the sad fact that days of war are usually used by those who try to minimize the protection of human rights and the rule of law. The massive democratic protests that continued for 9 months with no breaks before October 7th is soiled proof of the strength of the Israeli democratic camp. We have all the reasons to believe it is fully committed to remaining on guard, and we must be part of its efforts. During those months of protest, the Israel Movement for Reform and Progressive Judaism marched under the slogan, "In the name of Judaism, we will protect our democracy." Today, in a much more challenging and painful Israeli reality, our slogan must be, "In the name of Judaism, we protect our country, our democracy, our values, and yes, also our hope." Dear friends, 2 months before October 7th, I traveled to the south for a few political meetings. One of them was with Ophir Lipstein, the head of the Regional Council of Sha'ar HaNegev. We set to meet in his office, but on my way there, he called and asked me to come to Kibbutz Erez, one of the closest kibbutzim to the border with Gaza. We climbed together a hill inside the kibbutz, and there, from the top, he shared with me his vision to establish a joint industrial area that will enable thousands of Palestinians to work in Israeli factories and businesses. As the head of the regional council, he was deeply disturbed by what he saw as a soft response of Israel to the military capacities of Hamas. But at the same time, he was also convinced that we need to explore ways to create a better reality for the two communities. On the morning of Simchat Torah, October 7th, Ophir, a true friend of our movement, was murdered by Hamas terrorists when he tried to defend his beautiful kibbutz, Kfar Aza, a kibbutz who is still waiting for 5 members of the community to be redeemed from their savage captivity. After October 7th, many Israelis think that Ophir's vision was naive. Yet, as I shared with you, Ophir was fully aware of the urgent need to address the military threats of Hamas and refused to accept what was then the status quo. But in a prophetic way, in you we must defeat evil and at the same time envision and plan a better future.
Never thought you'd be carrying a comic book into battle, did you? Believe me, boosters are more than just exciting stories. Pair them with the right gear and artifacts, and you'll have one very lethal loadout. Who knows? Perhaps one day we'll have a booster in honor of your conquests.
Congregation in Israel after him, with the blessing of his grieving family. This legacy is the true meaning of our request every Shabbat evening before before we sing Lecha Dodi. This request should become the slogan of our life in Israel after October 7th. Adonai Oz Le'amo Yiten. May God give strength to its people. Adonai Yevarech et Amo Bashalom. May God bless its people with peace. Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova. Other alternative, then carefully and thoughtfully renew the stragglers alone at the back and in our dialogue and mutual relationship. This week's Torah portion, Ki Tetzeh, concludes with the known mitzvah of remembering the evil deeds of Amalek. Remember what Amalek did to you on your journey after you left Egypt. How, undeterred by fear of God, he surprised you on the march when you were famished and weary, and cut down all the stragglers in your rear. 11 months after October 7th, and 2 weeks after the brutal murder of 6 hostages, there is no need to explain why Israelis and lovers of Israel see Hamas as a modern-day Amalek. The failure of others to see this is a deep moral illness. Yet, a careful reading of the text reminds us that Amalek's success was also rooted in the fact that the Israelites left the stragglers alone at the back of the line. Our Torah and our sacred tradition calls us to remember the need to stand against evil and to fight it with no fear, but also to do it in a way that does not leave our brothers and sisters behind. This ancient teaching, brothers and sisters, but also to do it and to fight it, to remember the need to stand against evil and to fight it.
Exile, here I come. Weapons chest nearby. I say we head this way.
To free this glyph from Vector Claim, direct the laser beam into the glyph's pedestal by changing the angle of the reflective panels.
Somebody's close. Enemy there. Let's see. Ow. Gotta get back at the game. Somebody's close! Extraction point's close.
You're carrying too many treasures. Secure your loot at an extraction point. Hurry! Hurry!
Nothing personal, just profitable.
The disciples have captured a familiar. Defeat them and free the familiar.
Somebody's close!
In need of a restock? I have a stash hidden nearby. Your traverser should be able to guide you to it.
Enemy there. Somebody's close.
Oh, baby, I've been itching for about...
Somebody's close! You should have seen this coming! Ooh, I should stock up at the shop. Can't carry any more trinkets until I extract my loot. Somebody's close. To the victor goes the spoils! Enemy there.
You're bursting with loot! Use the extraction point nearby.
You should have seen this coming! Enemy there.
Your load has been lifted. Do you not feel lighter? What I would not give to feel lighter. Get back out there! Use your collected cred to improve your arsenal from Grail stores across the island.
Enemy there.
Follow the familiar. It will reward you for your assistance, or it will explode you. Either way, I must know.
Enemy there. Somebody's close.
Release the caravan's loot by shooting the crystal locks. Bring it all crashing down.
Somebody's close! Let's see what you got. Woo! Somebody's close.
also to do it in a way that does not leave our brothers and sisters behind. This ancient teaching must bring the leaders of Israel to collect.
Somebody's close! Enemy there! I'm hit! Victor goes destroy us! Somebody's close! Ugh. Somebody's close! Ouch! Gotta get back in the game. Enemy there. close! Nothing personal, just profitable. Somebody's close! I'm hit!
Listen, there's a stash nearby. Put it there myself. Follow your traverser to seek it out.
Somebody's close! Can't carry any more trinkets until I extract my loot.
immediately sent back to Grail through the portal. Science saves the day! You have 5 minutes to use an extraction point. Otherwise, your loot is kaput.
Riftwake has its own shop for all your supply needs. We've got something special waiting for you there. That upgrade required a lot of resources. Did you collect them by treasure hunting? Or did you take them from a fellow renegade? Either way, good work. Grail Plus is extremely helpful for renegades. Take a look around. Something else may catch your eye.
That does not leave our brothers and sisters. Also to do it in a way that does not leave our brothers and sisters.
Ooh, a daring choice. Equip your new gear from the loadout menu. Hopefully it can turn the treasure hunting tides in your favor.
There you go, Hotshot. You're taken after a truly talented treasure taker. The Pantheon of Plunderers is mighty big. That means there are a lot of renegades who have risen to greatness and earned their own class card. Let's run it back. Customize your loadout to match another unlocked class card.
Transdimensional mechanics aside, extracting from Exile is rather easy. It's taking control of an extraction point. That's where the challenge lies.
Engage with me, renegade. I believe we're dealing with something this world has never seen before. Because the island is not from this world. Just a theory for now. One that will be proven correct when we reach this so-called heart of the island. Keep securing artifacts so that I can locate this place. You have no idea how much I enjoy being proved right.
Impressive, no? A full-blown shooting range all the way down here below the waves. Here's a quick rundown. The lockers contain every firearm in Grail's arsenal, including the strange energy weapons we claimed from Vector. The ammo boxes provide you with all the ammo you'll need. Don't go filling your pockets. Nothing leaves the range. Use this terminal to begin the target trial. Your goal is to shoot as many targets in the allotted time. Successive hits and headshots are worth bonus points. Misses will take away from your total score. When you've finished, view your results on the screens above you. Well, I'll leave you to it. Oh, and be sure to report any leakage. The range is very prone to punctures.